I'm here with Bob Roper, chair of the Wildland Fire Policy Committee. Bob, thank you so much for being with me today.
Oh, nice to be here.
Now, Bob, it's been a big year for wildland fires, in particular the deadliest season in 80 years because of the tragedy in Prescott, Arizona in July. It seems like wildland fires are becoming more common. Why is this?
Well, you know, a lot of people are studying now the effects of climate change, what's happening with our environment around us. And, you know, whether you believe in climate change or not, we're having larger amounts of bug infestation. The forest and the fuels are not as healthy as they once were. Temperatures are increasing. We have more wind-driven fires. This is what's leading more to like what we call mega fires now. Also what's happening is the fuels out there are not healthy. And you know, as our nation has had a 100-year policy of putting out all fires immediately, what's happened is all these fuels have built up. So we have this large accumulation of fuels. So when a fire starts, what happens is it's not as easy to put out. And then the third component is more and more people are leaving the urban areas and putting their homes up into these wildland urban interface zones. When that happens, there's an expectation by the public that there'll be a fire truck at every house when a wildfire comes through, and we just cannot meet that expectation.
I see. The IAFC is active in Washington, D.C., giving local firefighters a voice. What do you have going on a policy level?
Recently, we were just at Congress testifying on the effect of climate change and of how the fires are increasing across the nation. We're also in support of the U.S. Forest Service as they're looking to increase their large air tanker fleet. That is one of those areas. Large air tanker doesn't put out a fire. It's in conjunction with troops on the ground, but we have an aging fleet of surplus airplanes that what we're trying to do is get a purposely built airplane to fit the firefighting needs of tomorrow. Also in Washington, what we're after is make sure that funding is continued for the rural and volunteer firefighter assistant grant programs. Also, the Assistance to Firefighter grant program through FEMA always seems to be on the congressional chopping block. So as the voice of the IFC and local government firefighters, that's what we're there for, to espouse really what do we want to make sure that we can meet the challenges of tomorrow.
Now, are there any conversations that aren't happening on a local level that should be?
Well, what's really not happening is that there's a new direction that's happening in the country. It came out of 2009, it's called the FLAME Act, and there is a mandate to have the National Cohesive Strategy for Wildland Fires done. And there's three components of it: restoring the landscapes or the fuels, making sure that we have fire adaptive communities, and making sure we have an ample response to wildland fires. What we're trying to do is to get that down to the local government and make sure that they understand it takes all three components, not just response.
Right.
We have to make sure we build in the three. And then the second major component is we're trying to get the word out to those who live in the wildland areas that they have a social responsibility to live within that ecosystem that they choose to construct their homes, that the government cannot solve all their answers, that they have to be part of the solution.
Right, so it's a give and take there for sure.
Absolutely.
Bob Roper, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you.